Welcome back, my turtles, to another art video with Waxy Crafts. Today's video features a comic book blank that I have that I decided to work on today. Went ahead and opened it up. I like to put a sticker with my logo on it on all of the backing boards. That way, while it's on the shelf or wherever, you know, it adds that extra little flair. So normally I do this off camera. I'm not quite sure why I decided to record it this time, but went ahead and stuck that sticker on there and set that aside and figured, you know what, while I'm here on the back of the cover, I'm gonna go ahead and stamp it with my logo so it can dry while I work on the front. So I stamped it and immediately noticed that the ink seemed like it was bubbled up, which made me question the quality of this paper. I've explained it before that not all comic book cover paper is considered equal. So I did a little test run with a marker. I didn't want to just scribble somewhere, so I was like, oh, I'll color a little corner here and see how it does. Just in case this was a nice comic book cover, I didn't want to ruin it by testing the quality. And this is something that, like, I've been trying to figure out how to determine, because just looking at the comic book covers, you can't tell what quality the paper is. And like, pencils and pens will work really well, and then you go to color and suddenly you find out that it's just this terrible plasticky paper hybrid composite. And so I did find that out very quickly. So I went ahead and just added some little polka dots to kind of give it a, you know, nice appearance. Again, I didn't want to waste this comic book, and so I figured, why not? I'll just make the best out of the situation. But seeing the way that the ink beads up on top definitely confirmed that this is one of those plasticky paper composites that is not gonna color well, which definitely limits what I can do with the cover. I've done, I think, maybe 2 or 3 pieces on the boarding like this that have this composite paper type, and I just am not satisfied with them as much like I am with the Bristol board ones. So I had to kind of rethink my original idea. I wanted to do a big full color, you know, Hulk for this, but now that I know that it is the plastic composite, I'm gonna have to do something a little bit more simplistic, because it's not gonna hold the ink like the Bristol board covers will. It'll just smear, it'll sit on top, it'll look really blotchy. So I did go ahead and cut out and mark where the titles are, because I don't want to just go at this, especially if it's this plasticky cover. It's gonna stick even more and be even more difficult to erase. So just figuring I'll do a very simple, just line art Hulk to go with this. Not a lot of color, because again, the comic book really limits me on this. Now, the comic book cover did have stuff printed on the other side, so it's very difficult to see through. And so I could not quite see through it to follow exactly, so I had to re-sketch onto the comic book cover. So those are 2 of my big complaints, you know, the plasticky paper on some of these, and then the printing on the other side, so I can't use my light board appropriately. But we will make do with what we have. And just going at it very, very simplistic. Nice, simple green Hulk to it. And so again, the showing off the waxy kind of feel to the paper, the ink doesn't soak into it. If I scratch this, it can actually flake off. But even with that, I feel like I was able to make a presentable comic book cover. It will be available for sale, not nearly as expensive as some of my other pieces because it did not take quite as long. It's more simplistic, just does not have the detailing and time, and so that does make it a less expensive piece. But if you're interested in this piece, you can reach me at foxfootcrafts@gmail.com or hit me up on Instagram, and it will be available and we can discuss the comic book there. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.